In this video, I'm going to show you how I make a turkey broth, and actually it's a little bit of chicken in there as well. So the first thing I do is I cooked a whole turkey the other day, and I cooked it in the oven, and you know how there'll be some liquid in the bottom. I always like to make sure there's liquid in the bottom. If you don't end up using that liquid that night when you cook dinner for like a gravy or something, then what I do is I save it, and it might be hard to see, but down at the bottom there, I poured it down at the bottom because that's just a lot of flavor. So I just poured the whole bit of liquid into there. And then I have in the freezer, which I'll show you a bag in a moment of how I kind of keep some of the things. I reserve like a whole chicken. So like this here is a whole chicken that we had. And I cut it up and everything. We ate all the meat and everything, but I saved the rest of it for a broth later. And you can see, like, for example, we don't usually eat these, so I just cut them off and I just save them. And this one here is the turkey. And of course, you can put the neck in here and everything. Down below the video, I'll show you some other things that you can put into your broth to make a good, like, collagen bone broth. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to simmer this in over the stove in some water, basically just all day. And you can see I've got the big pot here. Now if you don't have a big pot like this, which you can easily pick up at the store, but you could also use, and I use all the time, a slow cooker, so like a crock pot. And if your stuff doesn't fit, you can just cut it a little bit to fit it all in there. Now what I'm going to cook this with are some veggies. So I've got some sage, I've got some rosemary, and really you can use just kind of whatever's on hand will be fine. I've got mushrooms, a green onion, garlic, onion, and some celery. So what I'll do is I'll wash what needs to be washed here. I'll cut it up, and then I'm going to throw it in here, and then I'll throw it on the stove and just let it cook basically all day. And then I'll show you what I do afterwards, because there'll be a lot of fat going around in here. And you know, if you make a soup or you need to use the stock or something, you don't want it all greasy and everything. But that fat you can still use, and I'll show you. Okay, cut up some of the vegetables, and you know, just a rough cut is fine. You don't have to cut it all super fine. And even if you don't take off all of the wrappers, like on the garlic, I just smash the garlic, and if the wrapper goes in, then it goes in, or I can peel it. Doesn't matter, because all this will get strained anyways. And one other thing that I do add in here is a decent amount of salt, and I'll put some pepper in there. So you can get yourself some pink Himalayan sea salt, or like a good sea salt that you can put in there. Okay, so I have refrigerated this for at least 24 hours, and what happens then is you'll get this fat cap on there, and this is really good. So I'll try to get it here on video. What you can do is just kind of bunch it up like that, and if you can drain off, if you get any liquid, try not to get any liquid if you can, but take that, save it. That is really, really good cooking fat that you can cook with. And so I'm just going to skim now the rest of this fat off, and basically my broth will be ready to go. What you can do, what I typically will do though, is I'm going to throw this on the stove. I'm going to heat it up, and I'm just going to season it to taste. Put maybe some sage in it or something, more salt, pepper, whatever I feel, garlic powder, whatever I feel I need to put in to make it taste a little better. But that is how you make some chicken broth or turkey broth, and you can save the fat and cook your eggs with the fat, cook your steaks with the fat, whatever it is you're cooking, you can use that as a really, really good source of dietary fat. I've taken off the fat, and notice how when I spin it, how it's kind of gelatinous. That is really good. That's what you want to see. That's all the collagen in there, and I'm sure you've heard a lot of good things about collagen. But this, you could just heat this up and drink it. I'll drink it in like a coffee cup or something while I'm making dinner and everything. Really, really good for you.